Well, it is finally November, and I thought I would just give you a little bit of a glimpse into what has been going on here in our home over the last few months. This has by far been our busiest, craziest fall probably ever. I'm just about to pick our last apples of the year, and I am so ready for this harvest season to be over. Now, normally at the beginning of the school year, we are just excited to jump into all the school things and start all of our new curriculum, find all of our new books, and just get going on the school year. But this year, things have been quite different for many reasons. One of those being that two of our boys this last year joined a swim club here in town. And they now have progressed up the ladder, so to speak, to be at a level where they are now swimming 5 days a week. For one of them is an hour and a half a day, and the other one is 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. One of the other things that's kept us really busy this year is that two of our kids are in our church's Christmas play, and they have had rehearsals 3 nights a week for the last month or so, and that will continue until their play in December. So we are in town in the afternoons for swimming 5 days a week, and then at church 3 nights a week for play rehearsal, and then 1 night a week is also Awana for our youngest. So we have been doing a lot of driving this year. And we've been able to kind of dual purpose those trips with listening to some audiobooks and podcasts and things like that, making use of the time that we're in the car together. We have definitely, I think, bitten off a little more than we could chew this year, because all of these things have seemed to happen right at harvest time, which generally fall is just kind of the busiest time of year on the property anyway, but then adding those things into it this year has been crazy. We are so blessed that one of our neighbors let us use one whole row in their garden that was just going to be fallow this year. I think I planted about 80 or so potato plants up there. I had more space in this row than I needed potatoes for, so I threw in some corn seeds and some green beans, and I planted some beets and some kale and stuff like that up there too. By the time it was time to harvest, I was able to dig up a few hundred pounds of potatoes. It was definitely a multiple day project, so I went up a couple of times on my own, and then there were other times when the rest of the family came up and helped me just finish hauling the rest of it in. My goal was really to grow enough potatoes to sustain us until next year. I think we've got that. We'll see how well they keep. But it has been such a blessing. We're so thankful for our amazing neighbors. With all of that driving, we have had to make some adjustments to how our normal kind of school day goes. We have really had to focus primarily on our core subjects for the beginning part of the school year. So things like math and language arts and their Bible study. We've done a little bit of geography and science here and there. One of the ways that we have been able to continue homeschooling even during this busy time is really by having chosen curriculum that our kids, especially our oldest, are able to do independently. So our boys are able to go and do their math online, and that has all of the grading and stuff built into it using Saxon and Nicole, the math lady. So that has been great. I just kind of go and check in with them and answer a couple of questions. If they have problems on 1 or 2 of their problems, we work through those together and get their math done. And then their language arts is pretty independent as well. and literature guides the boys have been working on. Also utilized having one of the boys help their sister out with her schoolwork on occasion. She's able to do a lot of reading on her own, which is great this year. It's really a whole new world once all of your kids can read and be a little bit more independent on their subjects. It really opens up doors to all kinds of more things that you can do as the homeschool mom in just kind of managing your home and being busy around the house and things that you want to do for the family, cooking meals and all of that kind of stuff. My oldest being in high school, most of his curriculum is independent, so he has been able to do all of his subjects while the other kids that need a little bit more attention are still kind of ramping up into the rest of their school subjects. Some of their educational content has come from just watching some documentaries and things like that during lunch and trying to fill in some holes while we have been busy processing food and just living life and learning from everyday life. So some of the projects that have been a little bit different this year are that my boys have been working on helping my husband build this chicken shed kit that we purchased. It's actually just a normal shed that we are converting into a chicken shed. In the past, we have just used our mobile chicken tractors that are just covered with a tarp all year long, but last year it got really cold and a few of our chickens got some frostbite on their combs. And this year's predicted to be a colder winter. So in anticipation of that, we went ahead and purchased this shed kit that we're gonna convert to a chicken coop. They have a lot of chores that they do just on a normal basis around the house that they do just because they're part of the family. But sometimes we have extra projects like this that we pay them for their time so they can earn a little bit of an income while they're doing some projects and learning some great skills. So definitely part of their homeschooling this fall has been helping with some of those projects around the house and helping harvest here in the orchard and in my garden and preserving some of that food. In my vegetable garden, I have 5 raised beds where I planted tomatoes and bell peppers and cucumbers, and I've got some herbs growing in there, and I planted broccoli and cabbage and zucchini. Pull it up. Just pops right off. Over in the rest of my garden area has kind of been our squash and melon area. Mama. We tried our hand with butternut squash and got a ton of those. I had heard that butternut squash is great for things like pumpkin pie and breads and, pumpkin bread, that kind of stuff, which we love those much more so than we do just eating squash. So I'm really excited about that. And we've got so much zucchini, I had to figure out a way to use it all. And we actually had been saving up and invested in a freeze dryer this year. So one of the ways that I've been preserving a ton of our food this year is with our freeze dryer, and it has been so much fun and so amazing to see the products that we've gotten out of there. With our zucchini, I've done it in small dices to be able to put into soups and stews and things like that. Our favorite uses have been to grind the freeze-dried zucchini up into powder, and then I use this powder to put in a little nutrient boost into like pancakes and muffins and things like that, and it's really delicious. Our daughter has been kind of my little shadow, following me around, harvesting things in the garden and processing things and all that kind of stuff, which has been fun to have her around to do that with. I really believe that one of the most amazing parts of homeschooling is that we can really make our schedule fit with our home and what we are doing, rather than trying to fit our home life into homeschooling. So it's really about just doing what works best for our family, rather than having to follow the traditional school model of being in a classroom for a certain number of hours during the day. There's definitely been a lot of things that our kids have helped out with around the property that might not have been a normal school subject per se that they have been able to participate in. So I am really looking forward to, now that we are getting the last of our apples harvested here, to being done with harvest and just being able to move on to the season where we can slow down and just settle in. And I really am hoping to make a little bit more content like this, showing you a little bit more of a glimpse into more of our just everyday home life here on our property, not just only talking about homeschooling. Let me know if that's something you're interested in, if you would enjoy seeing that kind of stuff, and if so, let me know in the comments what you would want to see. I'd also love to share some healthy, family-friendly recipes and just ways I manage our home and our kitchen and all of those kind of things. So I'd love to hear from you how your fall has gone, if you have adjusted well, if you're still figuring things out, all those kind of things. Let me know in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know this was a little bit different than normal. I hope you enjoyed the little peek inside of our busy fall life. Have a great day. Bye.